Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/get100 and use code GET100. That's code GET100 at prizepicks.com/get100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Free Table Gamers. I'm your host Colin, here with Ashton as always.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Alright, starting off with kind of like obviously a nerdy thing. It's a video game podcast, but The Lord of the Rings is getting a video game.
Yeah, so the article I have here says Amazon Games and Embracer Group, through its wholly owned subsidiary Middle-earth Enterprises, part of the operative group Free Mode, announced today not today, but today that this article was written. They have reached an agreement for Amazon Games to develop and publish a new massively multiplayer online MMO game based on the works of J.R.R. Tolkien. The upcoming game will be an open-world MMO adventure in a persistent world set in Middle-earth, featuring the beloved stories of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings trilogy. The game is in early stages of production with the Amazon Games Orange County studio, makers of the popular open-world MMO game New World, leading development. Amazon Games will publish the game globally for PC and consoles, and then additional details, including launch timing, will be shared at a later date. So yeah, Lord of the Rings getting a new game. That's pretty cool. I never really got into Lord of the Rings, so I don't really know a whole lot about the series.
Never watched the first movie or whatever they are on them. I know some of the characters via Sierra or South Park, but I think it's going to be mainly based around Gollum.
Okay.
From what I've seen with it. Like the one I have seen, it's coming out and it's actually Lord of the Rings Gollum, so I mean he's literally the title character on it.
Okay.
Which he's the little one that does like the precious thing, isn't it? Yeah. I think so.
I don't know. At least I don't know about anything about the Lord of the Rings. I know it's a big franchise. A lot of people love it, like kind of like Harry Potter, but maybe not as big as Harry Potter, but pretty close. But yeah, just me, I've never got into it.
Yeah, but anyways, if you guys are Lord of the Ring people, you can look forward to this game.
Yep.
I probably won't pick it up, but it's there.
Yeah, I'm not looking to pick it up. Maybe if somehow it gets on Game Pass, maybe eventually one day I'll try it out, but I'm not going to put money down just for this game.
Yeah. Speaking with games that games that are out for a long time and don't look like it's going to get a new game anytime soon, is GTA Online makes improvements for migration of consoles.
Yes, it says Rockstar Games has made a big improvement to the GTA Online save migration, which may make upgrading versions while maintaining progress in both more seamless. Countless GTA Online players have accumulated tons of wealth as the game has moved from one generation of consoles to another, and with another hardware jump, Rockstar is looking to make the transition a bit more painless. Grand Theft Auto Online was released in 2013, and since then it has seen regular updates. A Grand Theft Auto expansion called The Contract brought a broader storyline and famous musician Dr. Dre to the online game. Car racing has been expanded upon with Los Santos tuners, and heists were added with an aptly named patch, with Grand Theft Auto Online joining the PS5 and the Xbox Series X/S lineup of consoles. A recent update has simplified save migration to current gen hardware. So I've heard in the past when people were moving from the 360 era to Xbox One, it was kind of a pain to get their save progress over, and people were just losing their save progress altogether, and Rockstar had no answer whatsoever to get it back, so they just had to start all over. And I mean, that's just years and years of playing on the 360 lost when you go to the Xbox One. So I guess they're trying to improve it. I mean, I don't know why they're just now trying to improve it when the game is this old and the Series X and the PS5 has been out for a few years now, but better late than never, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird thing. I mean, you think this game has officially spanned across 3 generations of consoles. Granted, it did come at the very start of the Xbox One PS4 era, because I think it released in the summertime, then they got released during the holidays. So it initially released for the 360 and PS3, then, like you said, it went to the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and then they was like, oh yeah, no, we don't need to make this important, which PlayStation and Microsoft was both bad about the whole entire I won't call it cross gen, but switching over generations. But I think that's more like Rockstar based from what it is, the actual consoles themselves.
Right. In this case.
But it's still, yeah. Which, I mean, pretty much every game that came, I remember from the 360 to the Xbox One personally, nothing carried over. 2K didn't carry, I mean, shoot, 2K was 2 different games.
Mm-hmm. Completely different games. Like the My Career mode, I mean, especially was completely different games.
Oh. And then, ironically enough, you had more features on the 360 game than what you
Yep.
did on the Xbox One game.
Yep. I had NBA 2K14 for both, and I played the 360 version more because you just had more options and more stuff to do on My Career.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's something that I think every company's doing, but GTA has to focus on it now because they do have a 10-year-old game on their hands at this point. Which, I mean, they done what Destiny said they was going to do.
Yeah, but I
They,
don't think
they,
Rockstar was planning on doing it. It's just it kept selling, and they're like, "We'll just port it over to another console, and it'll sell some more." Like the Mario Kart 8 treatment, I guess.
yeah,
What's the point
just
in
keep
making
on. I
another one if this one's still selling?
Especially, I mean, and to add on to, I mean, shoot, they make more money than what the deluxe does because at this point you can, I mean, they have microtransactions all littered throughout that game.
Yeah, yeah. Nintendo hasn't done that yet, but probably one day.
Oh yeah, like I know easily Colby on my profile has spent, I say at least, which it was mainly as soon as I got the game, but I say collectively he had to pay at least $200 on that game in microtransactions throughout the years for a
Yeah.
$60 game.
That, I mean, if you enjoy the game, I mean, that's fine. You do you. But me personally, I prefer the older GTAs over GTA 5 anyway. I like San Andreas and Vice City over GTA 5.
Oh yeah. And don't get me wrong, I've beat it, but it wasn't nowhere near as fun. Which I don't know if it was because in 2013, that's whenever, because I mean, that's the first game I was able to buy with the M rating because that's whenever I turned 17.
Right.
So that was the first game well, no, I wouldn't have been. It was out for, I think, a year at that point whenever I did buy it and I was 17. Because it came out in 2013 and I would have turned, yeah, 17 and 14.
Yeah.
15 maybe. Whatever. not good at math right now.
One of them years.
But yeah, one of them years. But it was the first M-rated game that I bought, and because obviously I could at that point because GameStop was very strict about it. Don't know if they're still strict about it or not necessarily.
They'll probably sell you whatever you come in to buy because they're going out of business. I don't care how old you are.
But yeah, the game's been around forever, and I mean, good for Rockstar for finally figure out how to make a smooth transition from console to console after their third generation of being out.
Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't have took this long, but if you guys are having trouble with it or you're switching over to the new generation, there you go. Or if you had it on PC all along, you don't have that issue.
That's true. If you're a PC player, you are safe
Yep.
from the regards, anyways. All right. Microsoft reveals 6 custom Xbox consoles and controllers.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty neat. It says Microsoft and Porsche have teamed up to create 6 Xbox Series X consoles and controllers to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the supercar manufacturer. Microsoft and Porsche have been teaming up since 2005, with their collaborations often revolving around the Xbox exclusive Forza Motorsport franchise. Each Xbox Series X console is designed with an iconic car and Porsche's rich vehicular history in mind. The previously mentioned Porsche 963 tops the lineup and is joined by color schemes based on the 1970 Salzburg, 1978 Porsche Racing Edition, 1970s Hippie, and the Pink Pig from 1971. The collection is rounded out by the classic Porsche 911 GT1 from 1998. That was a good year. It is worth
Yeah, well,
remembering that players will not be able to buy these consoles. Instead, fans will have to enter a prize draw to win one of the consoles. The draw runs until October 1st and is open to gamers in the US, UK, and Germany. It's pretty cool. We've seen Xbox do collaborations with other car companies in the past, and Porsche, I mean, it makes sense because they do have them in, like it said, Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon series, so it makes sense to at least have a decorative console for it.
yeah, gives you more options if you want to do it. Uh, it's I'm surprised they didn't come out with like if they're going to do like the whole entire steering columns because I know they touched those in the past,
Yeah,
where you can actually tell while you're doing that stuff.
right.
I want to skip a couple topics just to hit this one since it kind of goes on with this topic. But
Okay.
Xbox first party studios are no longer making games for the Xbox One anymore.
Yeah, so Microsoft has moved on from the Xbox One and is no longer creating first-party games for its previous generation of consoles. We've moved to Gen 9, says Xbox Game Studio chief Matt Booty, referring to the Xbox Series S/X generation. While Microsoft will still support Xbox One hardware and games like Minecraft running on the previous generation, no internal studios are working on new games for the Xbox One anymore. Microsoft has been slowly pushing to this point, using Xbox Cloud Gaming to offer up games like Microsoft Flight Simulator to existing Xbox One users. So, personally, I think it's too early to do that, but I understand where they're coming from. Just go ahead and throw it out so people will buy the new console. That's fine. Xbox One has been out for 10 years now, so I kind of get that, but the Xbox Series X is just now to where you can find one pretty decently. Now, the Series S, you can find one for several months now, for probably a good year now. You can just walk in and see a S, but I'm just now to the point where I can go to Walmart and see maybe one or two X's on the shelf. So it's just now getting to that point to where you can find them abundantly, and I think it's a little too early to shut off the Xbox One for that reason.
Yeah, and they're still fully priced at $500 for the X. Which I
Right.
mean, the S is obviously the more affordable option at roughly around 350 for the price of it. But it just seems like they kept the Xbox 360 games out a lot longer than what they have for the Xbox One and the switching over to new generation.
Yeah, and they supported the Xbox 360 for a long time after the Xbox One. I mean, the Xbox 360 did sell more than the Xbox One, but still, the Xbox One sold good enough, that you think they'd support it a little longer. But I mean, I get where they're coming from too, because games for the new generation, they do take a long time to develop, a good 5-6 years. So by the time one releases, the Xbox One will be 5-6 years even older. So I kind of get where they're coming from that way, but still should support it in other ways.
Yeah, I mean, because it's kind of like a pushy thing for them because they're trying, like you said, they're trying to get the new consoles out the door, even though it was kind of their fault that they didn't make enough from the get go.
They blame chip
Which,
shortages like everybody else.
yeah, which I mean, it was both PlayStation and
Hmm.
Microsoft both done that. They both majorly shorthanded of what they thought people was going to buy right out the gate.
Nintendo didn't have that issue when they came out with the OLED.
Hmm.
They made enough. I mean, they all use chips. I mean, if the chip shortage, affects one, it's going to affect all three. So, one just using it, two uses it as an excuse, while one shows that it doesn't really. I mean, it's not as big of a deal because more Switches have sold than PS5s and Series X, yet Nintendo was able to get, more to the people, get more made.
Well, the Enterprise even used that excuse.
Yeah,
I needed a rental car right around that same time frame, and they was like, "Oh no, we got a chip shortage right now." I was like, "What?
yeah, that makes no sense. I
You and
mean,
the consoles both, I guess."
maybe for the keys, but they should already have keys for them.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, that just seemed like it was the biggest excuse for the longest time. It didn't matter who you was, whether you
For
was a video game
everything.
company or a rental car company. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, also diamonds. There must be a chip shortage.
Maybe that'll be McDonald's new excuse for their ice cream machine being down.
Yeah, our chip's gone.
Chip shortage.
But yeah, it's just now, like you said, they're coming into abundance, so it's definitely weird that they're doing the axe that quick. I mean, yeah, granted, unlike the Xbox One initially, they didn't, because pretty much when the Xbox S and S, they pretty much came out simultaneously.
Yeah.
While when the Xbox One came out with the dinosaur, you know, version of it, it was just one thing. You got what you got with it. There was not several options to get unless you got obviously a customized Halo one or I think it was the Gears one, I do believe at the time.
Yeah. But I mean,
So
it kind of goes towards what I've said before on here is eventually they're just going to not make consoles at all and just go for the cloud gaming and Game Pass. Just focus on making games for that service. People can play it on PC, they can play it on the cloud, they could play it on anything they want to as long as you have a internet browser connection.
Microsoft specifically,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, as we mentioned before, they have their hands in 3 or 4 different cloud companies.
Yeah. Now Sony, they'll keep making consoles forever, but yeah, Xbox, Microsoft specifically, eventually I think they're just going to quit making consoles altogether and just focus on the cloud and making games for it.
It'd be cheaper that way.
Yep, and they'll make more money.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of statistics, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and an enormous selection of players and stat options are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million football fans who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/get100 and use code GET100. That's code GET100 at prizepicks.com/get100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/get100 and use code GET100. That's code GET100 at prizepicks.com/get100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
All right. Speaking to a game that's probably going to make a lot of money, Marvel Spider-Man 2 gets ESRB rating months ahead of launch.
Yeah, so fans have been waiting years for the next installment of Spider-Man game series, and their wait is finally going to end on October 20th. The build-up to this release date has been a slow burn, with some of the talented voice actors behind the game dropping exciting hints about where Peter Parker and Miles Morales will go next in their never-ending mission to protect the open world of New York City from many supervillains that emerge from its shadows. The Entertainment Software Ratings recently posted its rating for Spider-Man 2 on its official website, and it is going to be T for teen. The reasons for this rating include the expected violence as well as blood, drug references, and mild language. So, for a Spider-Man game, I guess that's kind of expected. I was more thinking maybe everyone 10 and up instead of a T for teen, but I mean, they're pretty close to the same rating, but they're not the same rating. I guess technically they used to be before they had everyone 10 and up, but yeah.
Yeah.
Not surprised, but kind of surprised that it went to the T instead of everyone 10 and up.
I mean, that's why Super Smash Bros. Melee was a T for T game. It was because and Plus didn't exist 20 years ago.
Right.
But yeah, and I went back and researched pretty much every Spider-Man game that's been released to the public. And out of, I don't even remember the number, but out of all the ones I've seen, there was out of that whole entire list, counting back from like our Spider-Man, like the original Spider-Man trilogy,
Like on the
video games.
PS2 in the GameCube era.
Yeah, and I had only seen one that was E for Everyone, and it was a computer game, and it wasn't part of those series. So pretty much everyone in that series had been rated T for teen. Granted, I think fans expected it to get an M rating because this one was supposed to be a little bit darker than the previous ones, especially with the blood and everything else. But I think the only reason why it didn't get an E for E10 Plus game, and I want to say the language on here just because it makes sense for it, because that's the reason why I got flagged 14 opposed to getting that E10 Plus rating, because the article I read, said that the main reason is because the language they used, and the 2 words that can separate an E for E10 Plus game from a T game, because it don't drop no F-bombs or anything.
Right.
But so you can get away with the D word and stuff like that, but the words that got flagged on there to get a T was ass and prick.
Wow.
Which I don't even consider the one a cuss word.
No.
The second one.
No.
But yeah, it's those 2 is what separated from getting an E10 to a teen. rating. Not the blood, not anything else. It was the language that set it over the edge. Those are rough words right there.
Yeah.
No 10-year-olds have ever heard that. Unless you just listened to this podcast when you finally heard those words. Wink, wink, since you can't see me if you're not watching live on YouTube.
Well, the reason I was surprised that it's going to be T for teen is because you don't see a lot of games get T for teen anymore because of that everyone 10 and up. It's either everyone 10 and up or they just jump straight to mature, depending on the game, you know.
Yeah.
You don't see the in between much anymore, which is T for teen. So it's kind of, I guess, obsolete now. So it's rare to see this and to see a game actually be T for teen now.
And it's weird that it got its rating a few months because usually they get their rating about a month ahead of release date.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, granted, yeah, like the statistics show that if it's a Spider-Man game, more than likely it's going to be T for teen. But like you said, well, we both kind of agreed on it that the older the, T for teen used to be the only option you had. It was either E, T, or M. There was
Right.
no, or I mean, of course you could get AO back in the day because I don't even think AO games sell now. Basically,
I
I
haven't
haven't
seen
seen
one
one
in
in a
a,
while.
yeah, it's been a long time. I think it is definitely obsolete. Like it's completely gone.
But at the beginning, their first four was E, T, M, and AO, which your AO was pretty much soft porn games, is what they were basically.
Yeah, I mean the games they have out in Japan. Yeah, I know they don't have the ESRB out there. They have a different rating system, but that's basically their mature is you get 17, you can pick up that game or whatever. Half naked women on there or whatever. But
Oh, shoot, even M-rated games nowadays will get you fully naked women. I mean, over
that's
here,
true. That's true, yeah.
like Grand Theft Auto 5 has nudity in it. It's literally right there on the cover
That's true.
for an M rating.
I forgot. Yeah, I didn't even think about GTA. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the fact that it got a T rating, it's not shocking since it's a Spider-Man game, but at the same time, like you said, it's surprising about being an E10 plus because there is that in between buffer now, opposed to a T, which, like I said, a couple quote unquote bad words are the reason why it didn't get the E10 plus rating.
I mean, the way the ratings are nowadays, like everyone 10 and up, just look at how movies are rated. Like PG-13, they say some of the worst words on there, and those are fine for kids. So it's kind of the same thing for games. Like they'll have some games because they don't use that T for teen very often. They'll have some games say things that are worse than those two words you said earlier, and it'll still be everyone 10 and up. Just how the ratings are nowadays, they're more lenient with what they have in them and what they say than they used to.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it makes no sense to an extent. Like, I can understand why, but the E10 Plus is, I mean, T for teen is really going obsolete.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I really never understood why they brought in the E10 Plus because it's,
It it's between. I mean, there's no need for, in my opinion, to have anything between everyone and up and T for teen. There's not that much of a difference there because there's
no,
not an age barrier to purchase the game. Yes, to be to buy an M-rated game, you have to be 17, but to buy a teen game, I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, you have to be 13 to buy that game," because
oh,
teen.
shoot, by the time you're at that age, anyways, you don't have any type of ID, anyways.
Exactly. That's what. Yeah. So I don't see the point because there's the age barrier there. There's no. You're going to sell it to a 9-year-old if it's T for teen.
Yeah, or
So
so an E10 Plus to the
yes,
9-year-old. I mean, that's the way to ID a kid.
right, exactly. So I don't see a point in having the 10 and up.
No, I mean, only thing I think of the 10 and ups now is the complexity of the game, not necessarily really anything bad with it, like whether it be language or anything else. I think it's more based on, like I said, the complexity of it. Like Tears of the Kingdom, you just can't sit a 5-year-old down in front of the screen and then expect them to figure out how to beat Tears of the Kingdom.
So you're saying of how hard the game is, not necessarily what's
Yeah,
in the game that may be too adult for him or too mature for him.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, because Breath of the Wild was 10 and up as well. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense. It is an open world game. It's kind of harder to see what you're supposed to do, I guess.
yeah. Like it's a little bit easier if you sit them down in front of Wind Waker. They're going to be able to figure it out a little bit quicker than that. Which obviously Twilight Princess was his own thing because it was darker and because E10 Plus didn't exist back then.
Right. Or it definitely would
And
have
what that
been.
was when it released,
It was what?
'06, correct?
Yeah.
So even in '06, we didn't have E10 Plus. So, like I said, I think E10 Plus is pretty much a difficulty setting for a game opposed to an actual maturity level, while T and M are maturity levels. You
Okay.
should be a certain age to play those games.
See, when you put it in that perspective, it makes sense to have that everyone 10 and up. But if you just put it as a mature, it makes no sense because there's not much between everyone. E for everyone 10 and up, and then T for teen. They're all just so close to there. And then the way I picture M is way out there by itself. Like, but the first three are there close together when you put it at a mature rating. But if you do it, on based on how hard the game is, they're more spaced out. I can see that, I guess, more.
Like I said, that's the only reason why I can think they brought in E10 Plus. That and to have something in between difficulty wise in between E and T, but T is like you said pretty much obsolete now.
Yeah.
So because there's only a 3-year gap in between when you're supposed to have an ETN game to a teen game. Yet again, there's no way to ID anybody pretty much younger than 15.
Nope.
So
You're going to sell it
at
to them
that
anyway.
point,
So,
yeah. So really, the end games are really the only thing you're worried about with IDs up to this point because I mean there is worse stuff on them games. Obviously,
yeah.
that's how they got their ratings in the first place.
Right. Not because of how hard the game is, but because of what's in the game.
Yeah. While E10 Plus, I think I just fixed the ESRB system, or unless that's
Yeah.
what they was already doing. I just
Maybe
or we
that's what
just
they
now
were
caught on
doing.
to it.
We were just weren't thinking like that, but if not, then you're welcome. Colin fixed it for you.
That's right. Let's look us up ESRB. All right, I think I put us through to 30 minutes.
Almost.
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 One more short one.
Yeah, it'll put us a little over, but that's fine.
There's a sale going on for the Nintendo Switch OLEDs that we mentioned earlier for $380.
Yeah, so your standard OLED comes in at 300, but the bundle is where it's on sale is because for 380 you'll get the Switch OLED, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet edition and Animal Crossing New Horizons for 380, and then as a bonus, it'll come with a screen protector and a 16 gigabyte micro SD card. So you get all that. That's a pretty good deal. You get 2 games, an OLED, a special edition OLED at that, and then an SD card and a screen protector. So it's not a bad deal.
Yeah, not a bad deal at all. That's why we got it posted in case anyone was thinking about getting an OLED. You can really get your bang for your buck with because you buy those games separately. That's going to set you back $120.
$120. So there you go, 420 if you buy the games, the OLED and the games without the screen protector and the SD card.
Plus an SD card, yeah, and a screen protector.
Yeah. So it's
Because what a
definitely a
screen
good
protector
deal.
is around $10.
Yep. And then the SD card is another $8 to $10 for 16 gigabyte.
Yeah, basically 150 off,
Yeah.
give or take.
Yeah. Good deal. If you don't already have an OLED or if you're wanting that special edition Scarlet and Violet one, then there you go. What website was this on? I didn't even see like what store was doing the sale, or is it just?
I didn't see. It was Game Rant is where I seen the article at.
Okay.
But
Well,
Game Rant didn't have it listed as what store was having it.
okay. Well, I'll figure it out and I'll put it in the description for everybody.
Yeah.
So it'll be in this
You guys
episode's
wanna
description.
get to it? But other than that sets us over our time, and we'll get out of your guys' hair.
Yep. Appreciate you guys for listening or watching live. Thank you, Rylan, for watching live and supporting us. And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. You can sub to us on Twitch, watch us live on there. On YouTube, watch us live on there. My personal Twitch and YouTube channel. And our merch on Redbubble, always in the description. Everything is always in the description that we mention at the end of the podcast, our Discord. But I think that's it.
Yeah, I think you touched everything. All right. Later, guys.
See you guys next week.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/get100 and use code GET100. That's code GET100 at prizepicks.com/get100 for a first deposit matchup to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.